nobody quite as smooth as us. See, I done worked and I done bled, cause I done hustled way too hard. And I get further every step, if sky's the limit, shoot for stars, huh? Some didn't think we'd get here. I told them just watch. I push that light to get that dough, but I don't break cause I've been broke. If ain't no pain, then ain't no growth. I came in the running and bet if I had to, I'd do it again. It ain't no race if I don't win. I push that weight to get that dough, but I don't break cause I've been broke. If ain't no pain, then ain't no growth. To keep it 100, I came in the running and bet if I had to, I'd do it again. It ain't no race if I don't win. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm very excited.
Well, thanks for reaching out and getting me on here. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah. So I know that y'all just did a live
Yep.
other day with Honcho talking about some of the things that are changing with Full Deck,
Yes.
which is the Speed's race. If you want to go ahead and get started and let that news kind of boil.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you didn't see it, unfortunately, we cannot do it in Vegas. So within an hour, we had to come up with a solution, make a decision, get it out as quick as we could so it's not worse for everyone. So start off by, I've apologized enough, but I'll say it again. It was out of our control, but we have a plan. So the Super Speed Full Deck Reshuffle will be here in Dallas-Fort Worth. It is at our RCDRL track. It is in Grand Prairie, Texas. It's called The Strip at Traders Village. I've got tons of posts out with all the details. I'll tag CiCi in the most recent one. So it's going to be the same dates. It's the 24th and 25th, Friday, Saturday. We're going to try to get it done in one day, a day of testing and 1 day to race. Lot to do around here. It's going to be great. So your track fee is $35, same as it was if it was going to be in Vegas. The only difference here is you have to pay for parking where we're at. We lease, if you don't know, we lease the entire far end of the parking lot there. It is ours outright all year, so there are zero problems with making sure that the race will happen. It's where we tried to do the March meet, and it rained on us. So $6 for parking, $35 track fee. Entries remain the same, $100 a bracket. It was Vegas-style race, so I know that's expensive, guys, but that's what it was last year. JB is still doing the last man standing side pot. So I don't know the exact details of how that buy-in worked, but regardless, somebody last year made a crap ton of money. You get into a pot. You don't have to do it, but you get into a pot, and whoever in that pot finishes the highest in the race gets that pot. So that's kind of cool. So Vegas was always, you get 2 hits in each lane. That's it on test day. We're not doing that here. You got a lot of people who had to change their plans, come here. It is a prep track. It will be prepped. Reason being is our track is steamrolled flat. There's zero aggregate and bump in it. If you don't spray it, it's horrible. It's a bad surface. It's built that way on purpose. So you will have 3 grooves in each lane. It's not going to be a single groove. There is absolutely no tape. It is a prep track, but you will have 3 separate grooves. As you know, with Supa maintains the line. I am myself, Mike Mercadell, and Supa are directing the race. Supa will be watching the line, taking care of it. Our local crew there already has a technique where we heat and scrape. It works great. We've been doing it all year. Mercadell will be running the tree. I will be on the microphone, and guys, get ready for a strict race. If you came to the March meet, I will be on my watch. We'll call everybody up in pairs, and I will be at the tables, and I will be calling a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute warning. If you're not standing at the table at that time, you lost that round. You're out, period. So, guys, be on your toes. Pay attention. It will be on RC drag races. So $35 track fee, $6 for parking, $100 A and B bracket. Friday, you can get there and start moving in around 7 a.m. We have a 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. testing time. You're going to have 7 hours of testing. So 7 hours of testing there on Friday. At 5:15, we are going to do a random chip draw for a random gambled 16-car race. It will not be top qualifier, fastest racers, quick 16. It's going to be Vegas style, luck of the draw. 16 people will draw out a hat. If you get a number 1 through 16, you're going to be in the race. We will, at the drivers meeting there, let the people decide. People had to spend extra money to change their plans. So we'll, at the drivers meeting, come up with a buy-in for that race for that night. But first place gets a Rig OGO 9800 bag. Second place gets a Supa battery. And then I imagine we'll do like an 80-20 split for first and second on whatever the buy-in was there. So that's Friday night for you. People have already asked me if they can drop a trailer on Thursday. Yes, you can, but you cannot drop it in the pit spots. Drop it about 3 rows back. We have the whole parking lot there. Lock it up, because we do still have people that are coming that paid for reserved pit spots. So if they're coming in on Friday, we're going to have them staggered, everyone who paid for the reserved pits. And then it's first come, first serve on Friday, 8 a.m. You cannot start setting up your tents until 8 a.m. That's the time, period. We don't want you to block and have to make you move anybody again. So there's your Friday night. On Friday night after that, if you'd like to come join us at Texas Live, which is by Texas Stadium, right by AT&T Stadium, Cowboy Stadium, we're going to have a meet and greet at Texas Live. It's a great place. Saturday, track is going hot at 9 a.m. You can get set up and be ready at 8, guys. You can be at the track at 6:30 if you want. It's open. You can come in. You're already set up. You're only going to have 1 test hit in each lane on Saturday morning. That's the only Vegas style, because you're going to have 7 hours on Friday. Then we go straight to racing. It's a random RC drag races deal. It's nothing like what we do at RC-DRL, no qualifying. This is a super speed full deck reshuffle race. So like I said, we're going to try to get it done all on Saturday. We have 0 curfew at this place. We can run till the next day if we want to. So guys, there is plenty of food at Traders Village. There are 3,000 vendors in that parking lot, an amusement park, food vendors, flea market. We normally have some people that come out to do food service. We're working on that right now. So you'll be good there regardless. So we'll just run it through to the night and get it done. And again, 3 separate range. Y'all guys know how Supa maintains. It's going to be a good race. It'll be a good time.
Yes, if Supa's at that line maintaining, the track's gonna be money for sure.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened, but you have to make a decision and keep it going. And I've already had a lot of feedback. A lot of people, they definitely had to spend more money, but they're coming anyway. So we appreciate that. I want to say a special thank you to Jason Donahue, Dustin Otto out at the 702 locals. They are doing a cash days in Vegas for the people who couldn't change their flights. And I just wanted everybody to understand there was no way we could do a race that size where they're racing. It would, there we go. Thank you, CiCi. So thank you guys out there. There was no way for us to do that. It wasn't sanctioned. There's not enough room. So I hope you guys have a great time out there. They're excited to host that and help all you guys. So look forward to it. Just a quick note, if you're coming to DFW, you already took 4 days of vacation off and now you're having to come to DFW. You have Traders Village, like I said. You have Mario Andretti karting racing 4 minutes from the track. You have main event, bowling, arcades, fun there. You have Six Flags Over Texas 15 minutes from there if you want to go to Six Flags. Texas Live, where we're going to meet up and have the meet and greet Friday night. And AT&T Stadium, Cowboy Stadium, does tours of the Cowboys locker room, stadium, and everything. That's 15 minutes away. And Fort Worth, if you've never been to Texas, is a really cool historical cow town. I mean, it's a really neat place. I went down with AJ Marasco, Junie, all the guys a year and a half ago. We had a great time there. So there's plenty to do, guys. Just go to my personal Facebook page, and I've shared it. Apparently, it's been shared 229 times, these details, with a GPS satellite overview of where to go when you get there. So I don't think I need to share that anymore. I think if you haven't seen that, you're not listening.
Frank wants to know if there's going to be any barbecue there.
So the vendors that come, we do have a barbecue guy and we do have another home cooked style guy. We don't have that confirmed, but literally a 3-minute walk to your left of the track, there is tons of barbecue in Traders Village. There's all kinds of food in there. So you've got great places.
Awesome. Well, shit does happen, guys. But I think it's going to be a great event because Mercadale has a great track up there. Shout out to him for allowing that on such a short notice.
Yep.
And guys, it's very hard to put on a big event like this, especially when stuff happens like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say shout out to you guys for powering through and still making the race happen, because the race could just be totally canceled.
Yeah.
They could have just been like, hey guys, no race. But instead they tried to figure out a way to give you guys a race. So shout out to you guys. I want to say thank y'all because I know that's very hard and I know the amount of stress y'all have been under for the past few days. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We never give up, period. So
yes. Thank you guys. Hopefully everybody will be there. And sorry for the guys. So I do know some people couldn't get their money back for their hotels or their flights. Sorry, guys. See, I just dispute those charges. I mean, it's either give me my money back or shoot, I'm going to get it back.
We're all racers. I mean, if you don't travel and get protection for at least travel credit, I mean, weather can happen. You don't want to go. And it sucks for people. I hate it. But I never book travel without a cancellation option or travel credit. And it sucks for people who couldn't do that or afford that. And I don't know what else to say. We've apologized about 100 times. So,
but I hope y'all have an amazing race. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time and thanks for letting us get the word out, CiCi.
Heck yeah. Well, I'll see you later, Brooks. Thanks.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, guys. So that was the super speed race that has been moved to Dallas, Texas at the RCDRL track. Okay. We did have Debo coming on here. He said he had a little emergency, so he's going to be back later on the show. So now we're going to get talking to IMDRA. They raced like 12 different classes in that one weekend, which I think is so cool and also like insanely like insane. Like, how could you possibly do that? But we have some of the winners on. Before we get started, I do want to do a huge shout out to Rod Hicks for putting on that event and also having the ability and the patience and the time to hold a 12 class race, which is, again, insane to me. But huge shout out to Rod Hicks. There was a lot of records broken there. So, and by kids too, which I love even more. So let's get on to winners from this weekend. We got Eric, we got Carlos, and we got Melvin. What's up, guys?
Hello, CiCi.
Hey, guys. So let's just do a recap of who won what, okay? Carlos, you won first place in Electric Pro Mod. Congratulations. Melvin, you won first place in Nitro Funny Car.
That's correct.
So that's insane. Congrats.
Thanks.
And Eric, you won Quarter Scale Outlaw. So
and body car. I ran 3 classes. I won body car class and I won the outlaw class.
Yes, that's amazing. Congratulations, guys. One, I want to say that is very hard. I was watching y'all race and I was just like, first of all, why are half these cars bigger than my whole body? I don't even know how, but watching the quarter scale, I'm like, holy crap. And then the size of your tires, I'm like, I need real world references. You know what I'm saying? That was really cool to watch. Congratulations, guys. So first, let's just go ahead and talk about how was the all-around event? I've never been to IMDRA. Tell us a little about how the event was. Eric, if you want to start.
Sure. I've been doing IMDRA now 4 years, and I love it. Actually, like anything, when we go to the line, we're not friends. We line up. We're racers. We're going to race each other. We're going to do what it takes to win. But the great news is afterwards, you know what? Pits will help each other. Actually, 2 nights, we all went to dinner, Mexican restaurant, and actually sat and had dinner with everybody. So the event, I think the best part we love about this event is the track. It's got to be the smoothest track we run on. I can actually set all my servos and track it. And when I go anywhere else, I know how bad the track is just by that. So surface-wise, smooth as possible. Surface prep all the time with Ron Hicks and the team there from IMRDA. Excellent. There's times we can't get traction, but I think that's because we're just putting too much horsepower down on the cars. So other than that, love the event. Been attending it now, like I said, for about 4 years. So.
Wow. Melvin, was that your first time there at IMDRA?
No, so I've been racing with IMDR since when they first started, 2004, 2005, something like that. But I actually started racing in 2004, my first time racing. But as far as the Colonial Beach race at Custom Tees, that was my second time there. We was there back in June, I believe, Eric, if I'm not mistaken.
May.
I think it was June.
May.
Okay,
May.
yeah, we were back there the first time in May, and I was blown away because of the surface, how smooth, how flat the surface was. There was no issues in either lane. Most of the time you go to a track, you got one lane that's going to be preferred over the other lane. And at this track, the lanes are equal, and it's just the best situation possible because there's basically everybody's pitting on pavement. And so a lot of times what we have is like at a lot of tracks, people pit in the grass. They get the VHT from the track stuck to their shoes. And then when they go to the pit area, they get grass stuck to their shoes. And then they come back to the track and they track that on the starting line. And you end up having a really bad track prep surface, dirty track at the starting line. So that track is just the best situation that I've ever been in as far as my years of racing. It's just a perfect situation, perfect track.
Awesome. Now, Carlos, I've heard about how great it is, how great the track is. Is there anything else about this track that just like stands out to you, or why y'all keep going to this track?
That was my first time there. I'm doing this with IMDRA for 2013. That was my first event in Florida. So it's going to be like a 12th year already. But it was my first time being there. And it was a great, great track. Normally, we struggling with one of the lane. On this one, the lane choice it's going to be a big deal. If you take the lane choice, it's not going to be something they are going to affect us. So in my side, I'm run for electrical. Those guys is nitro, so they're loud on the track. When I run, it's quiet. Nobody really hear. You got a street car, electric car. You know how it is. All
Yes.
those guys, they are loud like crazy. But that's what we want. If we are in the track, we want to hear something. And this guy put a good show with that. So it was a good track. Hopefully they can run next year there. If they do it, I will be there.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear everybody have a good time. I talked to a lot of people and they said that that track was money, especially because there's so many records that had been broken there. So that was awesome. Glad to hear.
So let me interject there. So that track is a temporary surface. Ron Hicks is building a permanent track at that location, at that drag strip. So that's Customs Tees Motorsports Park. But Ron Hicks is building a custom a track dedicated for our RC cars. It's on the facility, but we wasn't on it this weekend. His track is incomplete. So that track being so perfect, it's almost like it's almost a blessing and not a blessing because we love that surface. But then when Ron's real track, his dedicated track is finished, we have to move to that track. We will no longer be on that surface. So, but Ron has promised us that he will have nothing but the best on his dedicated track. So we hope that we have a equal surface.
Yeah, it was just a foreshadow. It's basically foreshadowing to let you know, hey, this is track, this money.
Right.
Just wait till you see the track that he's going to complete.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. So, Eric, give me a rundown of your car, the quarter scale. Okay, what kind of car is it? What you got in it? Tell me your secrets.
There's no secrets. They're pretty simple cars. I run a Floyd Vic car. Very proud of that platform. And they're all the same. I have 3 of them, and that's because I can change parts, switch. They're direct drive, so we run chain drive. So we run a clutch attached to a pinion, and then the pinion's with a chain drive to a gear in the back, and that's how they're set up and ran. Really, not a lot to them. A couple of uprights, axles. We pretty much have to make a lot of parts for the cars. Or get them from Floyd. He like I said, supports his cars. They're great cars. broken records. I've got more trophies than I've ever had. I actually have to find a new corner for all my hardware to look at Carlos. I'm going to have to really step up my game over there with the trophy. I tell you, man, I can't beat that yet. But yeah, I mean, the cars are great, easy to work on, easy to maintain. I've been doing RC 32 years. I've done electric, I've done gas, quarter scales, my first big scale I've owned now, and I'm enjoying it. I like the fact motors we run, they're $9,000 for a motor, but I run the same motor for 4 years. Don't need to have to worry about having that special battery or this new motor that come out that's the hot ticket, or the ESC that's the hot ticket. So I've been having a really good time. It just takes a lot of work. Luckily we have Linwood RC Dragway close by. We get a lot of testing and tuning in, and I swear I'm probably there we run every other weekend, and I'm pretty much there every time running with everybody at the track to put the work in to see, what combination, what improves the car, what makes it better, what clutch pack do I need, what, carburetor do I need, what spark plug do I need. I mean, it gets pretty intense in the details that you got to follow to run fast. And, traveling out, when I go out to that track, knowing we got everybody around the world coming to the Worlds between Brooklyn and North Carolina and everywhere else racing together. It's stiff competition, and you better be on your game because they're all on their game too. So I enjoy it. It's fun lining up to those guys. Again, we might talk in the pits, joke around, but when it comes to the line, we're both we're going to go at each other's throats no matter what. It's racing, and there's no friendship at that line. But once we get off the line, then hey, we're back to normal. The world comes back, and we're good. And that's what racing's about. And I think that's what really draws to the drag racing is the family piece. I mean, it's that same philosophy handles to the Linwood track too. Got the guys there. We bicker back and forth and do up to the line. We'll race. Even practice days, we'll race each other just to see how we're doing, what we're stacking like. And afterwards, you know what? Hey, I broke something. You got one of those parts? Yeah, I got one. Let me borrow it to you, or here, take it. Just get a new one and give it to me next time. So it's good.
Really cool. That's really cool. I feel like that's like the racing family. Like, you need this. Here's that. That's my dad. If you come to my dad and ask him for any part, he will give it to you, which I think is insane, because I'd be like, sir, I kind of need that. That's our last one. He'd be like, it's fine. It's not going to break. Watch how God does not let it break at all. And he's right. He is literally right.
The quarter scale, I'll say, is a little bit different when we crash. So, 10th scale and that, they crash. That's I call those like little crashes. When we crash with the big car, it's not a crash. It's a wreck. You really destroy some stuff. I mean, I've tore up in my early career a body. I've torn up axles, tires, foam tires. I mean, our tires sometimes, they'll chunk and then they're done. Once you chunk them, they're foam. So, when you get to the quarter scale, I think the most nervous thing about quarter scale for me is don't crash. Please go straight. Please be in control, because it crashes. It's a wreck like a big car, and then you're trashing in the pits sometimes, depending on what's going on. So,
100%. Melvin, what car are you running?
I run a 10 scale nitro funny car, and so ever since I started, even from day one, I've built my own cars. When I first started racing, I didn't know how to operate a milling machine or a lathe or anything like that, so I had a hand drill, and I got a saw, and I was sawing out parts, and I was doing everything manually. But since then, I've learned how to operate lathes and milling machines and whatnot. And so I manufacture my own car. My car is inspired by my car now. My current car is inspired by Brent Davis. When he first started racing, he questioned me. He said, because at the time I was running a car with side rails. And he asked me, he said, what do you think is best? What will work best, a flat plate or side rails? And I told him, I think the side rails is the best way to go. And he went totally opposite of what I said and went and made a flat plate. And it was the best decision anybody could have made. So he actually designed his car with a flat plate and link bars so that you can tune the chassis. So when people have chassis tweak, you can take these link bars and you can adjust them and retweak your chassis. And so I redesigned my chassis behind his car. and it's my own design. It's different than his, but it's influenced by his design. So, like I said, it's a nitro funny car, and I run a .21 Novarossi 35 plus 21, which you can't get anymore. But that's the engine I run, and I run it bone stock. I take the motor with drag racing. You can't have all that pinch and all that resistance on the sleeve. So I run at least a gallon of fuel through the engine before it ever sees the track. And that means pretty much an all-day affair. So when I break engine in, it's an all-day affair. I take a Saturday, and sometimes it spills over into Sunday, like almost a 2-day, day and a half thing, just to get it to the point where it's ready for drag racing. And a lot of times, if your engine is tight and you go to the line, you're only running a total of probably 2-3 minutes total. You crank your car, you go to the line, you make a 1.5-second run, and that's it. So you can't have all that pinch in there. So you need to really break it down.
Wow.
Although he'll tell you it's a stock one, but it's racing. There ain't nothing stock in racing, but that's okay.
It's stock from the Novarossi manufacturer. It's stock, so it's not like a low end engine. I don't really know what the low end engines would be, but it's not like those engines. I think if you bought a low end engine, you would need it modified. And I could be wrong. I could be missing something by not modifying my engine. It could be, it could be power gain, but I just find so much consistency. I don't blow plugs. I don't have to mess with my tune. My car normally, I got a little something going on right now. It's kind of throwing me for a curveball, but normally my car is pretty consistent. And once I hit a number, I pretty much stay there all day. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Carlos, what kind of cars are you driving?
In my case, it's going to be a little bit more easy than these two guys because they have to custom basically every part they're doing. In my case, I'm using the drag race concept chassis. This is one of my sponsors, Kenny Lupi. So technically, all the part of my chassis is coming from there. So if I broke something, just go to the internet and get a new part, put it there, and this is the easy part. Obviously, I got my little secret on my chassis. I do this and that. I can share too much about what I do with my chassis, how it is. But technically, it's electric car. We got a R1 EIC. That's the normal what they're using. 80% of the people right now is they don't use it. If they don't use it Mamba, they can use it that one. That's the two most common. Excuse me. The two most common ESC right now. So the motor is depending how is the track. I can use McLaren or I can use Trinity. It's depend. I'm already got two ESC with two different motor and two different program. This one is depending how is the track. If I example when I went to Linwood in August, there we don't have too much showdown on the end, so I need to put another kind of motor to give me short, run faster on the short track. So on the other one on Virginia, we got 13,000 feet to stop. So I can use another motor. So it's a fun tire. Something what I use it is the new gen battery. This is one of my biggest sponsors, actually my team. We call CiCi Racing New Generation Battery. So this is my biggest sponsor, Joe Carrion. He's the guy to Melvin know him. Joe, Joe. He are in IMDRA for before me. He got a good battery. So one of the secrets is the battery. The people don't believe that. So my team already we using that. I run 115 miles on 12-inch promo, 115 miles, and then I back it up with 113. So if the people don't believe that battery make the power, I don't know what they thought. But technically, that's what I use. It's a fun tire. I use it the Sanwa transmitter. That's what I use it. That's the most common tool on the drag racing. So I don't have, even whatever I do with my chassis, I don't do too many things. It's just put together what I got, a good program. Obviously, I spend time on my computer, now in the phone, up, this, up, down, timing, whatever we have. This guy just adjusted the carburetor. In my case, I had to work with boots, with everything. It's okay, CiCi. Don't. It's okay. It's okay. So in my case, I need to program my car. That part is a little bit complicated for someone, but that's what I do. This is, in my case, going to be, I guess, if you put beside the program, the chassis is going to be the easy part. The hard part is the program my car. So right now, we got the faster car, we got the total alcohol faster, pro stove faster, promo, Fonica, basically the 4 hard class on promo phone tire. My team have a record already in IMDRA and also in the RC dealer. We are the faster right now. That's what I think.
So I have a question like for all of y'all. Okay. So I saw with these big ones and I like looked up like the quarter scale cars and stuff like that. I looked up the motor and it was $2,500. Is that a scam or is that what you need to run in those type of classes?
So we have there are different classes. So in the dragster class, we have what we call outlaw, and then we have what we call extreme. So outlaw, you're limited to up to a 35 cc motor. So basically, you basically buy a 32 or 34 cc motor, reed case or piston port, and that class is more of a spec class. So I think of it like an alcohol dragster, like a real car alcohol dragster. Your spec, those motors are only about $1,000 out the door. Now, if you run the extreme class, just as the name implies, it's extreme. You can run up to I think they make a 96 cc motor, which is basically what you see on the mopeds and bikes and everything. Kiki, who broke the record this last weekend, running really fast. I think he runs an 88 cc motor, very powerful. And, he showed what it can do in a Floyd. He runs a Floyd Vic chassis, shows what it can do in a Floyd Vic chassis. So, it's a matter of what class you get into is going to be the budget you want to spend. So I'm a lot of smaller budget size race teams. So I got my spec ones and actually my extreme car. It's actually only like a 38 cc motor and I run it on, it's on nitrous. So, we spray it. And, at the end of the day, the way I look at that class is just like a Top Fuel. They make 10,000 horsepower. What the key is we all got to tune to the track and get it down. So that's really what it comes down to.
So that's what kind of like makes me like wonder, like, is this like, do you have to have that most expensive motor that produces that much? Because sometimes you can have the best, which is 100 cc, right? But can the track normally hold that? That's the issue. You can have all the power, but can the track hold that?
Well, I think it's like anything in racing, right? You can never have too much power. I think you want to have it in the bank because you don't know at that point you might need it, right? When you max out your power, you can't go anymore. You got nothing in the bank. Someone comes with something bigger and they can figure out how to get it down. Then you're kind of scrambling with your program to step up and try to do something. So I think if you get that power and you have it, it's always easier to detune than I think uptune in racing. So I think that's a lot of the philosophy a lot of racers have is just put that, and plus at the cost, when you spend that money, it's a one-time cost unless, the cases, things, they all can be rebuilt like a real one. You don't have to right away throw it away and buy a new one. You can rebuild it. So, the heads are swappable, the pistons, you can buy cranks, you can buy the rods, replace the broken parts, put it back together and be operational.
So Melvin, do you feel like these races can be won with, I don't want to say low grade motors, but I'm saying like cheaper?
So can it be won with cheaper motors? Yes. With the cheaper motors, I think you have to, my opinion, I think you would have to modify them to bring them up to the specs or the standards of the higher cost motor. So a cheaper motor may not come with a crank with the correct timing to get the most power out of the engine. They might not come with the light crank where it's hollowed out when they put the silicon inside the crank, and then their ports may be such that the timing is off on the ports, where it may be for fuel economy and not for power. So I think you can take a cheaper motor and run just as hard, but it'd have to be modified, I believe, and maybe the cheaper motors may not be made out of the best material also. So with my motor, I can run my motor 5-6 years, the same motor, no problem. And,
so it's more like when you're buying that $2,500 motor, it's more like an investment. Like that motor is going to be there till the end. Like you don't have to worry about that one thing. That's why you're spending $2,500 on it.
Agreed.
Well,
yeah. You spend the money, it's your investment, right? You invested in it, and the upgrades from there, you could do whatever you want. I mean, a lot of times with our two cycles, a lot of times parts kind of share. So like you can go like the smaller motor and then later upgrade from like a 63 to like a 71 just by changing the head and piston, because the stroke of the crank might be the same. So there's a couple things you can do to upgrade later and go bigger without spending that money up front and save it for later and want to upgrade later. But it's like anything in racing. I mean, you're going to upgrade, and horsepower. You can never have enough horsepower. I don't care who you talk to. You never can have enough horsepower. You always want more. You always want to have more in the bank. Again, that way when the track is right and you can put it down, you're going to lay a number down. It's showing.
Right. So since Dynatech's in here, another question is tires. Okay. I saw a lot of different tires. I saw itty bitty ones and I saw gigantic ones. Okay. So for the quarter scale, right? How big are your tires?
So we are so in the spec classes, we are limited on the height of the tire. You can go up to, I think it's a 9.5, 10-inch tall, and then all the way down to only like a 6-inch tall tire. After that, you got to put new tires on. The width of the tire, you can go as wide as you want. So there's tires out there that are narrow and 2.5, and they go all the way up to almost 4 inches wide, 4.5. 5, I think we even get 5 or 6 inches up. Some people can get on the width of the tire. They're homemade tires. They're not something you can just buy. So people make those tires, and then you got to true them down to size. So the big thing for us is finding a tire truer to true them. Typically, like in my case, I have a lathe in my garage, and I'm using a lathe to true my tires down to get them to the size I want. So, and the foam is just a standard foam that is actually, I think, used in the heating and air conditioning. They insulate pipes with it in the industrial world. So,
I feel like Dynatech. This was a question for you. They need someone to bring down their tires. Dynatech makes a great foam tires, guys. Well, he makes them for like our class, but I feel like he could get into other ones. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting because I saw those cars and I'm like, okay, so what's the height limit? Now I know if you're in that class, you would want them at 9, right? Because
it all depends on your rollout and what the track takes, right? Because you got it's usually tire size works with gearing, so you want your rollout gearing all the kind of jive for your program that you're running. So there's times that you want smaller with different gearing, and then sometimes you want larger. And again, that could be starting line. You need a little bit taller tire to not hit as hard, right? Because the smaller tire is going to roll out quicker than a larger tire. So that's where you start getting into like tuning the car to the track. When you start getting into the tire size and width, how much you want as far as traction. So
I know that. The few races I've run of road tires, like, okay, my tire can start like at like a 3.8, but when it starts hitting like 2, I need to adjust my prepping and prep a little looser so I can so I can get out the hole and not get stuck. That's what I know.
Yeah, we can get stuck. We pretty much can get stuck in there too. And for us, the big thing is it wears and tears on our clutch because we got our clutches is what engages. So we're really putting a lot of work on our clutch when we get stuck.
Now, batteries. Now, Carlos, you told us what battery you have. You believe in it. That's your main secret of your car right there. Got that battery.
Because everybody uses the same motor, the same ESC. If you open the 90% of the car in our class, they got the same like us because they know that. The only difference you want to see is the battery. So me and my team, that's why we use it. And so far, we got a big. We don't have any problem with that. So the battery is something we can use it here. Is how depend, because you run electric, more more delivery you get. But even on the street eliminator, they use some big block. So in our car, they can fit that battery in our car. So we need to get some specific battery they fit on the chassis. It's different than the street eliminator. They got a good battery, but it's so heavy, just the battery. So I
My,
get the big thing.
my
Excuse me?
battery, if my battery's not heavy, sometimes people put the heavy battery on their cars so they can have more weight downforce. I have a tiny 7K Peaky Tune battery. It's only like 140 grams. I would say that's pretty lot in my head. But I see that. What CC battery do you run?
Right now, we run the 120C. It's gonna be. We used the 45 or 4,500 45 mAh. It's gonna be 45,000 with a 120C. That's what they're using. So it's gonna be something like a 6 inches, and it's thick battery because that's the only they can fit all the way down on our chassis.
And it's a 2S.
2S. We run 2S. Technically, nobody run 3S anymore.
Yeah, I know you can't run a 2S because you said you run an R1, so I knew you had to run a 2S. So
Correct. 2S.
You can't run a 3S on an R1. So
yeah, it's everybody. That's one of the rules. We 2S. We don't have limit on the in the app. You can run whatever you want, but it's gonna be 2S.
okay. Now, Melvin, what kind of battery do you run?
So by being nitro, the battery for the receiver is really not that critical. So it's not like with this, we're not powering the motor. So it only just needs to have enough charge to run the receiver. So I basically run any no brand. It's no name. I just grab anything pretty much to just operate the receiver. Now for my son's car, he runs a not nitro. He runs an electric bracket rail car, and I have a battery in that. But I think I may give Joe a call and maybe get one of his batteries in my car. I'm glad Carlos brought that up because I think when we was at the Worlds, my son got in the finals on the B side, and he went to turn his car on, and the car didn't make the sound. I'm not an electric guy, so I'm only running electric just for him while he's young to get, hopefully get him over into the nitro class soon. But once the car didn't turn on, I didn't know what to do because I'm not an electric guy. And so we were pretty much dead in the water when he raced the finals. But I will be giving Joe a call to get one of his batteries in my car, my son's car.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so I also heard this weekend that y'all weren't allowed to prep on the track. Is that like normal that you can't prep on the track and have to prep somewhere else? Is that very normal there?
Yeah, that's that. I mean, for us on the quarter scale, we prep our tires. We prep them in the pit because we're using like belt dressing. Kofer is a big one too. I think 10 scale guys use the Kofer stuff, so that'll be the stuff we use. And a lot of times we prep them in the pits and then bring them to the line and then set them down. So we pretty much don't allow any prep on the starting line.
And that's just so it doesn't build up and you have to do all that maintenance and stuff. Because I literally looked at your track and it looked like there was nothing on the ground, but it was already prepped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just like that. That was really cool. I don't think my 10 scale could do that, but I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So when Ron Hicks prepped the track, it's really sticky. I mean, if you step out there, it's gonna rip your shoes off. If you got sandals on, they're gonna stick, and you're gonna have a hard time getting them off the track. And IMDRA is pretty strict about what kind of tire prep people use. They don't want to use anything that leaves a build up residue on the starting line because it changes the game for everybody else coming behind that person who don't run that type of tire prep. So they're pretty strict on what they allow to run on as far as tire prep. I use Kofer. I use just a standard Kofer. There's the other people have other tricks and stuff they use, but Kofer is the one of the original go-to tire preps for
So
Tennessee's.
That's
how do
probably
you?
what I use to comfort. But in our case, we need to see how is the track, because on my class it's critical what kind of comfort you use. We got heavy, medium, and light. So in the morning the track is going to be sticky, then the track is going to be a little bit hot, and it's going to be no sticky. So you need to be aware how is the track and what kind of comfort you use it. So we got three. On my case, we got three. So it depends how I see the track. Like Mervin say, the track already is different. The people start to run. In the afternoon, it's gonna be 100 degrees. The track is gonna be slippery a little bit. Then in the afternoon, it's gonna be sticky again. So this is what I need to put attention on how is the track, to what kind of comfort or bite I'm gonna use it on my phone tire.
So, Eric, how was your prepping process?
On my case, technically, I guess the other class do the same. When I finished my pass, I was there, clean my car. We got air, blah blah blah. We cleaned the tire. So every pass on different of the quarter scale, I had to cut my. So I got a tire cutter, and I cut my tire every single pass. So to be right, to get the two tires on the same height. So after that, so we charge the battery because we are electric car. So we try to charge the car close to when they are going to call you, because you want to get all your voltage ready, So when we know, because we got an order, okay, in 2 more it's going to be my turn. So I put my car to charge. Everything had to be clean. I check every screw is tight every single time. Every single time I check all the way down. That's the key. We run straight. Then I see the track, how it is. So I take the decision, what kind of comfort, and also if I want to do some little adjustment on my control or on my program, I do. So after that, it's just close your eyes and see what happens.
Close your eyes is crazy, but yeah. So
But Carlos can close his eyes because he's that good. His car goes straight all the time.
we try.
he might have that gyro in it. Okay.
Oh, that's illegally. Actually,
Melvin, how do you do your prep?
So basically, when I first arrived at the track, when I get my car out, I go ahead and spray belt dressing into my tires. So that gives a initial soaking, and it penetrates the tire more so than Comfort. And
Is that
so
like tire conditioner? Belt
it's belt dressing like with like a mechanic would put on a belt on a vehicle to keep it from squealing. So it's a sticky. I mean, it comes out very liquid, but then once it dries, it becomes sticky. So that to me, that helps the car. I think the Comfort slings out of the tire pretty quickly, and so I think that belt dressing, by being penetrated into the foam, it allows me to have a little bit more traction down track when the Comfort is maybe gone away. So I let that dry, and then before I go to the line, I put Comfort, a bead of Comfort on my table, and I roll the car back and forth in that Comfort, and then take it to the line, and then I try to roll the car on the line to kind of give myself a starting path. Just kind of lay out the Comfort that I got on the tires to kind of lay that track down on the surface. To hopefully when my car leaves, it'll leave in that track.
Smart.
Yeah.
Eric, do you prep the same way, or do you have a different secret?
No, it's pretty much the same. Spray the tire down, let it dry where it gets sticky, and then either you can leave it on the line and launch it without a tire, or roll it out and then launch it. Depends on how that starting line is for it. And then there's tricks of just putting lines on the tire when you spray it, so it's not the whole tire. You line the tire, certain areas of it, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines. You could do individual lines with the little spray nozzles. So really, it comes down to how the track is and how much you got to stick the car for the run. So,
oh, that's awesome. Now, tuning. Now you're about to give me all of your good secrets.
Sure.
Okay.
You ready?
Carlos, tell me about your tuning. How do you tune?
But basically, our electric car is like you program like a real car on the track. You got turbo, you got timing, you got boost.
Yeah,
So,
I know you have an R1. I know how to tune an R1. Okay.
so you know what we're talking.
So tell me, what does your graph look like when you first get to the track? First dot in the ESC.
Oh.
Man, she really called you out there. Wow.
No,
Let me-
I just need a little bit. First dot when you first get to the track, when you're trying to fill it out, but you also want a good, straight, fast pass. You know what I'm saying?
So Carlos, act like you're a politician right now and answer that question.
No,
Yeah.
no, don't act like a politician.
The first thing you need to see how your car launch, because this is my saying. Sometimes less is much. It's better.
Right.
The people try to put on this electric car all the power because this AC have a lot. Sometimes I just tell you that take the power down, and you want to say thank you, Carlos. Take power down on the launch, and that's what, because you see everybody have problem on the first 10 feet of the track. If you pass the first 6, 7, 15 feet for the track, you are going to run straight, and that's one of the problems.
Okay. First dot ESC.
I don't know which one you want.
So listen, you just made a great pass. You made it past the 10 foot. Your launch was amazing. Your launch could use a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
What's your first dot in your ESC on the R1? You're ready to race. You're ready to race. Boom. You need a good pass right here. First dot ESC.
Melvin, you don't want to answer for me?
Great political answer there, Carlos.
Okay, so you can give me a roundabout, like between 55 and 60. Like, you can give me like a close.
Normally, again, this is like a real car. What happens if you put too many boosts on the beginning?
Okay, listen, Melvin, you told him to answer like a politic, and I didn't need you to do that, okay? Because now he doesn't want to give me a straight answer, and Carlos was ready to tell me everything. He was ready to tell me everything.
No. I just tell you. Remember, if you put more boost, you are going to get more RPM and less launch. So you need to play with that.
We're not axing turbo and boost right now. We're axing graph, okay? In the graph of your R1, and you're about to start your first round, A bracket first round, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and you're about to race somebody really fast, like Melvin. Okay. First dot.
I can tell you the truth. I can tell you.
Wow.
You know,
CiCi, I'm starting to think this whole podcast was just for you to get that answer out of Carlos.
Listen, this is what everybody's tuned in for. We have 68 people in here.
Okay.
They want to know the tunes and the secrets, okay?
So I could tell you my nitro too.
Start with Melvin. I'm gonna thinking what I can tell you.
That's
For sure. I can tell you. Start with Melvin, then I can tell you. For sure.
So how do you tune your nitro? You just turn it just a little bit. You take the screwdriver, you turn it just a little bit, and then boom, that's your tune.
Yeah, well, kind of. But so first of all, you got to have a ground zero. So you got to at least have your needles in a situation where you're not so far off on one that you can't tune the other. So basically, my tune technique came from a gentleman named Greg Settle, who's no longer with us. He passed away. We were racing in San Antonio, Texas, and he told me, when you tune, this is what you want to do. And that was, I think that was maybe 2007, maybe. And I've been tuning that way ever since. But basically, he said, you want to hear the bottom end needle first before you go tweaking on the top end needle. So the technique he told me to use is you clean the engine out, make sure it ain't loaded up, clean it out, and then just bump the throttle like that, just to see the response of the bottom end needle. And so at that point, if you hear it, it sounds sloppy, then you want to lean it. If you go to hit it and it's just it's too lean, then you want to rich it. So once you do the initial blurp of the throttle, then you get your bottom end needle set. And then he said you want to clean it out again. And then now this time when you hit it, you want to hold it a little bit longer. I hear people in the pits that's sitting there motor to the moon. I don't do that because that's just free rev. That motor's free revving, no load on it. I think you could potentially do more damage than good. But I hold the throttle just a little bit longer to kind of hear what the high needle's doing. So at that point, I go and I adjust the high needle. If I'm not getting the motor to really come up strong, I'll lean it down. Or if it don't come back to a nice clean idle, I may richen it up. I might be able to lean. But Greg also mentioned that you want to kind of simulate what the car would do on the line. So if you're on the line, you clean your car out, and you set it down, you stand up, and you're going to wait for the race director to drop the timing system. So that little between the time that you last hit the throttle and the time you stand up and then he drops the system and the lights come down, that could be every bit 2 seconds, maybe 3, maybe more. So Greg said he advised me to like count to 5 in between blurps of the throttle. And so that kind of gives the motor time to load up a little bit and fuel, pass through the needles before you go tweaking. So a lot of people, they just hit the throttle randomly and they just squeezing the trigger and they're really not listening to what the needles are saying. So you want to pay attention to each needle, the bottom end needle and the high end needle when you're tuning.
Josh said, so Mel, how many thousands of a shim?
Oh, Josh, great question. So Josh, I have a YouTube channel and you can search Mel Capone 54, one word, MELCAPONE 54, the number 54. And that video will tell you about setting your head deck. That'll show you how to set your head deck.
You want to give us a hint now? How many thousands of a shim?
How many thousands of a shim? So it's I think I've heard of people running 7,000 head deck clearance. I think that's too low. And I've heard of people running 30,000 head deck clearance, and I think that's too high.
So what do you run?
I run a head deck clearance that is, to my knowledge, and to my knowledge only. That's one of the things I won't share. I won't share my head deck. I won't share.
Middle? Can you give us a middle between
7,000s and 30,000s?
That's a true politician right there.
That's it. Like honestly, I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you.
That's one of the things that Okay. There are a few. I'll say this: most Nova Rossi motors, the head clearance from the factory is a 17.5. That's from the factory. That's where they send it out. If you check that true head, and checking the head deck is kind of tricky. You really need a really good technique. And I have a video on my YouTube channel that also specifies, it shows how to check your head deck. But that Nova Rossi and RB, when they were making those motors, they came out about 17,500.
Wow. Melvin for president, y'all. He didn't tell us a darn secret. I did not like that at all.
Oh no.
Eric, will you tell us a secret?
Let's see. What's the secret?
You got a secret for us? No?
Yeah, I got. Yes, there's tire size secrets. There's pipe length secrets. There's head deck secrets, and one. I'll say Byron Fuel.
A secret that's gonna like seal the deal for my win when I come down there and race y'all.
Yeah. I'll say that you have to put the time in and discover what it takes to run fast and take good notes. Take good notes and follow your program. And then when you learn something each day, there you go. Keep over those notes. Keep a log.
That's what I think I was doing over here, guys. Like, come on now. What do you think I was doing over here? I'm always taking notes. I'm writing down all the secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, guys, we've reached an hour on live. I hope everybody felt like they got to say something out. This would be normally longer, but I don't want to burn off somebody else's time. Eric, anything else you want to share with us? Any secrets? I need a secret from you. 30 years doing this, you have like a billion secrets. Go ahead and tell us.
Secrets. You need first off, aerospace bearings help a lot. And I'm not talking the ones that you can just go buy. I'm talking ones that are used in medical equipment because the tolerances are so great and so tight and so smooth that's free horsepower. And then what's another secret? I think in the in the motors, a lot of people like to talk about on 2 cycles. We talk about squish a lot in the squish band, and a lot of people. And I'm going to put this out there because nobody talks about it, but they wonder how I run fast. And that is, I got a lathe and I cut my own squish band. And by changing the angle of that squish band will change either motor characteristics of what you want it to do. And that is a huge secret that I just let out the bag to a lot of people if they're watching, because they probably didn't think about it. But that little bit will make a motor RPM or not RPM or mid size. So yeah. That's all I'll give you right now. And then for us for tuning, we're archaic, man. We just got 2 needles, a low and a high, and a little set screw for the idles. So we're archaic in our world, which is good.
Yeah.
It makes it easy, simple.
Yeah. That was a good secret. See, I'm voting Eric. Okay, because I like an honest one. You know what I'm saying? I like someone to tell me. Sorry, Melvin. Yes. But before we get off here, guys, do y'all have any sponsors y'all would like to thank? Eric?
For me, I'm not a full sponsored person. I try to stay neutral because I like to try other products and that. But I will say a lot of people who help my program. One, Linwood Dragway RC is a local RC. They're a huge sponsor. Let us race. And then I run Floyd Vic Chassis. So I'm going to definitely give a shout out to Floyd Vic Chassis and all his stuff. His chassis is phenomenal for my program and love it. So that's who I got in the bank. And VP Fuels, we run VP for fuels. So that's what I have.
Awesome. Melvin?
So I don't have any sponsors now, but for many years I was sponsored by Byron's Fuel, and I was sponsored by Nitro Dynamics. Eric Selesky, that he's passed away. And also for many years I was sponsored by Mike Smith Tires, and Mike Smith is his tires are incredible. I still have some left over, and but you can no longer get Mike Smith tires anymore. I'm not sure what the situation is with that, but luckily I still have a few sets left over. But I also like to give a lot of recognition to Floyd Vic. Floyd Vic is the one that started IMDRA, and I've seen many associations come, many races come, and many racers and many associations leave. And so Floyd Vic and Ron Hicks, big shout out to Ron Hicks for keeping IMDRA going. So I like to give those guys special recognition.
Heck yeah. Carlos?
I'm a sponsor for Drag Race Concert. They give me some discount on his part. And I'm full sponsor for New Gen Battery. When I need a battery, always they say yes. And also my left and my right pocket. That's what the most helped me, because sometimes when we do a trip like a 12-hour each way, and all what we spend over there is coming for my pocket. So that's the big sponsor for me. I get the same with the other guy. So, but we got a lot of people there, but we need more sponsor, not exactly for us. We need people to sponsor the track. At the end, we can get reward like some kind of money or gift or something like that. If the people won, we deserve that. So that's the only we're waiting. I want to get this in our association. But right now, this is what I got. Drive Race Concert and New Gen Battery.
Family is probably our biggest sponsors that we have is our family, because they allow us to do this. We travel away from them for a while. We don't see them. If they do come, great. But our families really are the ones that sponsor big time, probably the biggest sponsors of all of us here for what we do. So,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Shout out to my mama. Period. That's my mama. Shout out to her. And shout out to RC Speed Secrets, highlight sponsor for the day. You know, guys, if you don't have RC Speed Secrets in your bearing in your car, the bearings, you know what I'm saying? You see, Carlos knows what's up. That's why Carlos is fast. That's why he got all those trophies, because he got RC Speed Secrets in his car. I'm just saying. So Melvin, I know you didn't want to share any secrets, right? But I have a secret for you, and it's an RC Speed secret. And the reason why it's secret is because when you put it on your car, you're gonna go fast every time.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you should put them in your car. Okay?
I'll check it out. I will check it out.
And I'll bet you drop down a tip.
We'll see. I'll definitely check that out.
Heck yeah, guys. Well, congratulations. Shout out to Rod Hicks for hosting this amazing event. Shout out to you guys for winning and bringing home some money to your sponsor family. But thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you'll have a great night.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And if you're watching still, guys, the webs are about to go live with Mark Vine right now. So go check that out. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.
Body quite as smooth as us. See, I done worked and I done bled, cause I done hustled way too hard, and I get further every step. If sky's the limit, shoot for stars. Some didn't think we get here. I told them just watch. I push the light to get that dough, but I don't break cause I've been broke. If ain't no pain, then ain't no growth.